True Reviews here! Alright, chill the f*** out. Well, I have to be honest here. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Basically, I just wanted to have a rant about these next 10 games and I needed an excuse to do it. So, prepare to duck and cover behind your bed or behind the couch, wherever you're watching this. Now, whilst this isn't a list dedicated to the top 10 worst games ever, although that's an idea in itself, this is a list dedicated to 10 games that I felt were really bad and that I had to give them all 2 minutes of justice in order to make myself feel better. Right, let's start. Constantine. John Constantine. If there's an action film, then you can probably go ahead and bet that there's a game to go with it too, and Constantine is no exception to the rule. The game is based directly off the story in the film, and as the story progresses, you'll notice different parts that appear as they do, or unfold as it does in the film. Now, you'd imagine that this game is all about going around killing demons, and if you thought that, you'd be right. The game really plays on the fact that hell is bad, and even the instruction manual gives us clues. It even tells you how long certain demons have been in hell for, or even why they were sent down in the first place. This, along with the film itself, really gets us in the mood to freak us the f*** out. So what's the gameplay like? Really? This looks half done. No, you know what? This looks like it was made as part of a school IT project. The kid who made this probably got a C grade for this game. Constantine seems to slide about everywhere, and it looks like he has trouble turning. The locations and scenery look bland, and even hell looks crap. Now, I know that hell is supposed to look crap, but I mean bleak crap, not 8-bit crap. Even Constantine doesn't look right. It looks like a huge object landed on his head, and now he's a lot shorter. It probably didn't do any brain damage, seeing as Keanu Reeves hasn't got anything important inside his head anyway. But although this game is supposed to follow the film, at times it does go off in some random direction for some reason. Why this is... Do you really care? I could go on about this game, but I won't. I've got another 9 games to complain about, so anyway, Constantine was bad, though not 100% atrocious.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Just Cause. How can I sum up this game? Well, I'm on my way to the next mission, just found an undamaged vehicle and it's gone. Be as careful as you like, but I guarantee you, you'll get through about 3 to 4 casts just trying to get to the bloody mission briefing, in which the other 2 will get you to go out and risk your neck, while they just sit there, sunbathing, drinking wine and playing computer games. The driving controls are way too sensitive, the combat is way too easy, massive auto-aim right there. Your enemy is El Presidente, but I've still yet to learn why we need this revolution in the first place. The game is also way too short, way too bugged. The vehicle stunt moves that you do are cool, but they get you killed if, say for instance, you wanted to deploy your parachute, you'll end up jumping back into the vehicle and crashing because mount vehicle and open parachute are the same f***ing button. I could go on and on, but I have a ton more games to get through. Well, 8 more really. This game does have some enjoyable moments, but these moments are completely outnumbered by the countless moments I was yelling out the words bullshit at the screen. Games are supposed to get you buzzed and are there to be enjoyed, but this game really frustrated me and I really didn't enjoy it. Also, I haven't been able to finish it due to there being a bug in one of the levels.
And hold on tight, cause it's gonna be wilder than any 8-second ride.
Dungeon Siege 3. The first Dungeon Siege really got players into dungeon crawlers. Now, dungeon crawlers were popular even way before the first Dungeon Siege game came out, but DS was one game that everyone talked about and everyone liked. If you were into role-playing games, then this one is one you had to own. The sequel wasn't bad either. Hell, I really liked Dungeon Siege 2. I wasn't so sure at first because it wasn't a direct sequel to the first game, but I came around to it as it had a lot to offer, added loads more in, had a really gripping and dark storyline, but it didn't sacrifice any of that good stuff that the first Dungeon Siege had. Then the third game came out, and seriously, what the f***? I have no idea what happened here. It's like when the game developers got together, they went, okay, here's the plan. We're making another Dungeon Siege game, but let's focus on making money. Now, we can cut out a lot of stuff here to save time, so potions can go, varied weapons, spells and armour can go, big war parties that travel along with the player, that can go. Character development? What's that? Let's make leveling up basic. It's not important anyway. And finally, let's get rid of all those secret locations and items moments that the players really liked in the previous 2 games. I don't think anyone liked that stuff anyway. And then someone goes, but what about the story? And the other guy goes, ah, shit, I forgot about the story. Oh, well, let's just leave that out. I'm sure no one will notice if the game doesn't have a storyline anyway. Now, of course, I'm kind of half messing around here, but I really can't remember a proper storyline being in the game. I picked Lucas as my character, and all I can remember doing was going around with some Russian girl who kept making all of her sentences sound like questions, trying to take down someone called Jane Casinda who's bad for some reason, then doing stuff because some ghost boy who's evil, though might not be evil, told me to, and then there's a really strange and demanding boss fight at the end. Oh, and there's something in there about the 10th Legion too, but I'm not sure if that's relevant or not. When playing the previous games, you actually really enjoy the game as a whole, but in the 3rd game, I lost interest immediately because the game did nothing to draw the player in, and then I just played the game so I could finish it and then stop playing it. This game was created purely to make money. It was the most expensive game in the series, the most advertised and promoted, and coincidentally, not the worst in the series. Next!
Lane Goodman.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship. The one game that's made me want to put my fingers down my throat at. The Fellowship is a balls game. Not even balls of steel, it's just balls. You begin the game by being the nicest person you can be, and immediately I'm pissed. I don't want to be nice in a video game. This is Lord of the Rings. Dark and epic shit happens on Middle-earth. Huge battles are being fought, and the army of darkness is on the move. So why the f*** am I farming and repairing windmills? You do have the option of stealing shit and beating people up, but that has a negative effect and diminishes your purity. And if your purity reaches 0, then you lose the game? So what, you're saying I can't have fun? Or you're saying farming is fun? You must do that and not be tempted to go off and have a fun and epic adventure. The game starts off really shit, actually playing as Frodo in general is shit, but it does get a little better later on as you get to play as Aragorn and Gandalf. But then the shit hits the fan big time as the difficulty gets, well, difficult. The game becomes way too f***ing demanding by getting you to go on a massive killing spree, then having a boss fight, then another boss fight, and then another massive killing spree straight after, all without any health packs about the place. Bullshit. The plot doesn't really do anything to get you sucked into the game either. Now, I like Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship was a good book and I like the film too. But this game doesn't do the story any justice. When you get to a new area, you'll get a small cutscene which you'll be able to partially recognise, but then you'll just spend the rest of the level running round and round in circles, mashing the attack button, and making your character look like he's having a mental breakdown. Oh, and the puzzles suck too. Second Life! Why the f*** would I want a second life? I already have a normal life, so why would I want another? The only reason anyone would like this game is if they had no life to begin with. So I guess zombies, vampires, and Keanu Reeves play this game. Oh, that's right. Neo's getting it in this episode. The message, you must have a second life, is rammed down our throats, so much in this game that most of us thought, well, you know what? No, I'm not having a second life if you're going to be like that. I especially thought this. I also thought, why play Second Life when you've got The Sims? But I gave it a go and about 30 minutes later, I realised I had wasted 30 minutes. Second Life had raped me of those 30 minutes. So what can you do in Second Life? Well, you could go to the park and... or there's a beach where there's always somewhere where you could... Or you could... No, not that. Oh yeah, there's this one place where... No. Alright, f*** it. There's nothing interesting to do in this game. There are quite a few things you can do, like going shopping and buy a house and all that, but that requires you to have a lot of in-game money, which can only be attained either through paying for it with real money, or working for some company that will give you in-game currency as payment. But seeing as these companies are actual companies, they want you to do HTTP or JavaScripting or create presentations on PowerPoint and send it to them. You'll be doing real work as a game, which really sounds f***ing shit. But if you don't have money, you can always go to a public party, stand around and looking at everyone else just standing there and thinking, wow, gaming has just reached rock bottom. Then occasionally a 13-year-old boy will come over to you and ask to be your boyfriend, at which point I rip the cable out right at the back of my PC in order to end the ordeal as quickly as possible. There is nothing good to be gained from playing Second Life, and I advise you never to get a Second Life. A real life is always much more interesting.
And my wife is dead.
I'm sorry to hear that.
High five!
No, Luca, no. About as much fun as pushing a cat away from eating your cereal. This indie game is about... I've already said it. It's a very basic and limited game, but funny enough, it'll catch you off guard if you're not careful. The aim of the game is to keep Luca from getting your food, so you have to keep pushing him away. But he gets quicker each time, and sometimes he comes twice in one go. The controls, however, are the easiest I've ever come across, due to the fact that you just move the thumbstick to the right every so often. But the cat toy mode that comes with the game just freaks me out. You get a virtual ball to play with on the screen, which you can make noises, and it's supposed to mess with your cat's head. That is, if you have a cat. Don't have a cat? Then don't worry, because POW! Yeah, you like that, don't you? Well, you know what else you like? POW! Oh yeah, cats everywhere in this hizzy. Oh god, I've gone lost it now.
Just like four trees they falter. Be black one, make it turn. 4 times will make it happen.
Empire 3! Stupid fucking game. This game is so dumbed down, it's a joke. Empire 1? Amazing game. So well done. So many ages to advance through. So many different units and buildings to create and recruit. It was a masterpiece, and I insist you all go out and get a copy. I didn't buy Empire Earth 2 because it kinda looked like the same as the first game, so I thought there was no need to get it. So instead, I skipped straight to EE3. So, what can be said about it? Well, if an infinite number of chimps had an infinite number of typewriters, and they were constantly typing for all eternity, then they would eventually type the complete works of William Shakespeare. Unfortunately, instead of getting Shakespeare, the monkeys have developed a computer game called Empire Earth 3. This game is so fucking retarded, it's not even funny. All of the complexity and options, technology and ages that were previous in the first game that made it so fun and interesting has been completely replaced by shit like this.
As you command, Grace. May I call you Grace?
You can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
Whoever came up with that line as a pun is a fucking genius. It's almost as funny as having an aneurysm. And then there's advancing through the ages. Remember the first game where there was like 15 ages to play through? Well, now there's 5, including the one you start out in. And in order to advance age, you need to get points which are obtained through either winning maps or researches, so now I can't advance on my own terms. I loved it in the first game where I got miles ahead of my enemy and then used high-tech weapons on them, like sending robots to kill Roman legions, but there's none of that now. You can get this game for like £2, but it's that price for a reason. Don't go there. Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy. Right, I'm just going to give you a checklist as to why this game is on here. Black and white colour. Pixelated graphics are not suitable for the fighting or fatalities. Music is West. Limited number of characters to choose from. All of your moves, including movements, are delayed. Some characters are impossible to tell apart. It's on the Game Boy. What did you expect? Man vs. Wild! A game based on Bear Grylls' adventures. You don't need me to tell you about this game. Just watch the gameplay.
One more time.
Prince of Persia! One of the most unplayable games to have ever been shat out by a developing team, the 2006 installment of the Prince of Persia franchise could be used as a replacement for toilet paper. The graphics look good, if not a little cartoony, and some, but only some, of the moves are cool to see in action. And that, my friends, are all of this game's redeeming features. The rest of the game is a fucking dive. It's a Tom Daly. The programmers have made it so that you can't die, but that doesn't make this an easy game. In fact, it's ridiculously hard at times, and some of the boss fights are near impossible. So how do you beat a boss who's unbeatable and where you can't die? No sense of progression is involved because you're spending too damn long collecting fucking seeds. No character progression, not enough explanation of the magics behind the story. The The story itself and everything you do during the game is ultimately rendered redundant by the prince's actions, and you'll end up playing this game out of a false sense of duty to finish what you've started. Well, I hope you realise what you've got into when you started this one. I did, and I'm telling you now, the time I spent playing it was wasted. Except for Elika's last line. That was amazing. And that is the end of my massive rant, and wow, look how long I went on for. But if you have any suggestions into what you'd like to see in the upcoming Worst Games Ever video, then leave me a message in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, check out the previous True Review episodes, and check out the website too if you've got a minute, and I'll see you all soon.